What's up, everybody? My name is B Milton. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to go over why I think the new Fallout TV show is the best video game adapted TV show to date. So just in the last few years, we've had the Last of Us TV show, Cyberpunk, Edge Runners, Arcane, some Castlevania stuff, Twisted Metal stuff, and I still think that this Fallout TV show is the best out of all of them. With this Fallout TV show, I feel like they nail almost every aspect of the show. Typically, shows like this, they'll have something that's really good, maybe like acting, but then the costumes and the world seems really low budget and fake and takes you out of the experience, but not with this TV show. So I played Fallout 3 a little bit. I played Fallout 4 for a little bit. I played the most of Vegas, but still never completed any of these Fallout games. But watching these shows really takes me back to the games. And they have so many things in them that they don't explain to the casual viewer. Like if you've never seen a Fallout game being played, there's a lot of this stuff that they don't explain to you, but you would get if you've played a Fallout or seen the game and seen how things look inside the game, or using caps as money and stuff like that. So I feel like this game really nails it for if you came into this as a fan, you get a lot more out of it than if you were just a casual like person who's never seen a Fallout game before. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that gives someone an incentive to go back and play the Fallout games now and want to get more into the lore and stuff if they've never actually played the Fallout games. My favorite part of the show is definitely the ending, where Lucy's dad is trying to explain to her why he did all those horrendous things and that he's trying to just protect his people. And then that the NCR and the Brotherhood are sitting there killing each other as we speak, and the war is never going to end, and it doesn't matter who gets power. People are always going to be fighting each other for power, and it's just a never-ending cycle, and it makes it feel so real there in that moment at the very end of the last episode. And if you think about it, this really encapsulates what happens in the games, because in pretty much every Fallout game, you see these factions or people that you see in towns that are friendly to certain factions and not to other ones, or will speak better about certain factions, stuff like that. And it's just in this post-apocalyptic world, people are still fighting for power, and it's just a never-ending war, just like before the nukes were pretty much dropped. And I feel like the show just really, really nails that, especially in the last couple episodes, and when Lucy starts to learn about all these different factions, and then finally gets to learn about her own, which was supposed to be the nice vault dwellers. You know, everyone has a smile, but then she learns that there's something more sinister about even them. I came into this TV show doubting it because most video game adaptations are not good. And I don't know if Amazon Prime or whatever has a really good track record with something like this. So I came into this, I heard good things about it, but I don't really trust everybody. And then I saw for myself, things were done well. And the world I thought was going to be lackluster or missing the Fallout feel. That's not true. They nailed it. And even episodes where they go to the mall or whatever, and there's the robot there, that all seems extremely like Fallout, like you're walking through a Fallout game and you're just exploring all this stuff. And the world was not a letdown at all, which that was one of my biggest fears before I started the show. I mean, they just pretty much nailed it. Even though we're watching a TV show, you feel like you're walking through the desert and you're exploring with them. I typically hate when movies or TV shows split off and go separate ways with separate characters and try to show you a different path with each different character. In this show, they try to tell you about 3, but really 4, because Lucy's brother is back in the vault, and it flashes back to him a lot, and he's learning a lot about the vault dwellers and the other vaults. So it's really about 4 characters that it follows in this TV show. And as I was worried about it, I mean, they nail it, because at the very end, they make it all come together. The characters see each other a few times during the show, and at the end, they all come together to make this crazy, insane ending, and they nailed this aspect. And typically, TV shows or movies just make something so convoluted, and it's hard to follow, but they freaking nail this in the show. Another thing that I really like about the show is that it can be funny at times, but not overly funny, because if you think about it, if you're in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, not that much stuff is going to be funny, but they kind of poke fun at like the vault dwellers, you know, the irony there and stuff that they don't know about themselves or the real world, that type of thing. So I feel like they got the right level of funny moments and quirky characters to make it not seem like, oh, this is a joyful place, but this actually is a wasteland. So something I saw online was an dumbass IGN article where they said, oh, Fallout's really great, but it would have been better if they showed one episode a week. Nah, F that, man. I really enjoyed sitting down, watching the first episode where I was skeptical and I got hooked, and then I knew I could watch it all if I wanted to at the time. I had to watch it in multiple settings, but if I could have sat there and watched it all day long, I would have, because it's just that good of a show and I wanted it now. I don't want to lose my interest or have someone come out with something different and kind of break up the show for me. So IGN is just stupid in that regard. I think that's a stupid statement to say. So one criticism I do have of the show is radiation and how they handled it. You can hear the sound of radiation, which sounds good, and all the sound effects sound good and everything. And she uses her Pip-Boy to scan people for radiation, but they never really come across places that are super radiated where they just can't go in or stay in for a long time, when that's a huge part of the game. So another thing that the show does well is violence, and there's plenty of it in the show. People are getting bitten, legs and arms chopped off, shot straight through the body, and the sound effects and the visual effects are top notch. And I can't believe that there wasn't like something lacking in this show, like in some direction. And you would think maybe like you would tell that something's a green screen or something, but just not. It just, the show just does everything well. The show is good at being subtle with nostalgia and not just shoving it in your face and being like, look, you should like this because you've seen this before, or it brings you back to the games. No, but if you are a fan of the games, you're going to sit there and see in almost every single shot, in every store they're in, there's going to be something, some nod to the game that makes you think, oh my God, that's cool. You know, I remember seeing that. But it doesn't shove it in your face and be like, look, you have to live off of your nostalgia. You have to enjoy this because of nostalgia. So the last thing I will say about the show is the music. If you played any of the Fallout games, especially New Vegas, you know how awesome the old-timey music is, and they nail it in this TV show. And there's times where every single episode kind of starts with that type of music, and you think, oh God, you know, as much as I like this, is it going to be shoved down our throats just like the last point I made? No. There's going to be a lot of times where it's not in the show as well. So every time it comes on, it makes you realize, just like the game, like, wow, this music really sets the tone and fits the era and is just really that good. Well, there you guys have it. That is my Season 1 review for Fallout, the TV show. As you heard, not many criticisms for me. Let me know what your biggest criticism of Season 1 was in the comment section below. I'm curious to see what it is. And as always, if you liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Peace.